Hello, everybody. It has been another wild week for G.I. Joe classified news. Um, so let's just jump right in. First off, quick rundown of a few of the figures that we got this week. We had that Desert Commando Snake Eyes, which I don't know about you all, but I don't necessarily feel like I need another Snake Eyes. However, when I look at it, I just more and more think it looks really cool. So he might end up in my collection. That said, I can see 6 months from now they come out with another Snake Eyes, and I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. So I have to draw the line somewhere, and based on what I've seen online, I feel like other folks are feeling the same way. There's a lot of this character. Many of us own more than a couple at this point. So will there be Snake Eyes fatigue, or will it always just look cool enough that we can justify adding it to the collection? I don't know. That's for you to decide for yourself for your collection. So I'm a little on the fence on this one. Then Tunnel Rat, another fan favorite. I think this figure looks really great. He is a regular release. I don't see there being any problem of getting this figure when you want him when he comes out. I'm not sure at the moment if he's sold out on Hasbro Pulse, but I think he'll be everywhere. I don't think he'll be a problem. I didn't pre-order it, but I do intend to get it when he is for sale in stock somewhere. Then we have the Eels, which were a great looking figure. In their video where they announced this figure, they were like, oh, army build, army build. Then when he finally goes up an hour later, he sold out for Pulse members in like a few minutes. They were gone. And I looked later on Amazon. I couldn't find him on Amazon until eventually I found the listing, but it was sold out. So I think this one's going to be a hard one to pre-order, but I wouldn't go spend scalper money on eBay listings just yet, because if we look back to say heavy artillery road, heavy artillery road, God, I can't say it, heavy artillery roadblock, that came in and out, Amazon exclusive. You could get him for retail well after the figure released. You just had to have a little bit of patience and kind of check back here and there to see where he was for sale. I believe he was also on Pulse off and on a bunch of times. I could be mistaken, but that's my recollection. Same deal with Kamakura. That was an Amazon exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, and you could still buy him, even though I don't know he would be as popular as the Eel. I feel like right now he's going to be hard to pre-order, which, you know, it's not my feeling, it's true. He's sold out on Amazon and Pulse. I feel like Amazon will restock well before Pulse does. So I would suggest just check the listings here and there, and then whenever it actually releases, I don't think it'll be a big issue. All right, so moving on to what I really want to talk about. We passed the 13,000 orders for the Dragonfly HasLab, which unlocks Ripcord and reveals the next stretch goal character, which turned out to be, I would have never guessed in a million years, Glenda. Okay, so when I first saw this, I guess it was Thursday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I was like, what is, who is Glenda? Because I didn't really follow much outside of the Real American Hero 1982 through about 1992. Outside of that, not really on my radar. You know, there's a lot more you could follow and be interested in the overall franchise, but that was pretty much my lane. So anyway, I wasn't familiar with the character, and at first I thought, you know, I don't think this is going to do much to help bring in more supporters for the campaign. shortly thereafter is when I noticed, oh, wait a minute, this is a mold for Scarlet, just painted differently. Then I was like, okay, well, this is great because that means we'll be getting Scarlet pretty soon. And, you know, as far as the HasLabs go, my opinion is I put up 275 for Wild Bill, the helicopter, the blast effects, and everything that comes in that basic package. And then everything else is pretty much just, icing on the cake or whatever, gravy, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, whatever the figures are that are basically the bonus add-ons aren't going to sway my opinion one way or the other, really. I mean, I guess it could make me want it more, but I'm already in, so whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling. So the more I looked at it, the more I liked it because I don't know, the colors really pop. I mean, yeah, it does have a bit of a Sue Storm or a Agent of Shield look, and I didn't really feel like it fit aesthetically. But the more I looked at it, and then the more I'm like, okay, well, we're going to get this Scarlet. We're going to have at least 2 characters at this point that have a same, I don't know, gear or whatever, or uniform, whatever, which to my mind kind of fixes what I thought would be a little bit weird with Scarlet because her outfit is so different. I think it adds like maybe some amount of standardization, being there would be at least 2 characters with that same style outfit. I think that might be kind of cool. Also, I kind of like having a character I don't really have a big connection with, or even if it was like a random trooper or something, to have in that second seat in the Dragonfly. That way, I don't have 2 like figures that I really like kind of hidden away in that cockpit. I can have Wild Bill in there, this Glenda character with her helmet on, so she's pretty much just a rando. And then the rest of my characters, I can have more on display fully. So that's the way I started to think about it. And then noticed Flash's gun and backpack, which had me think, oh, if they're going to mold Flash's gun and backpack, we're likely going to get Flash soon. And that's, that's one high on my list. Those original 13 characters. And then that led me to, well, if they're going to make Flash, it makes sense that they would also make Grand Slam. So, I feel like there was a lot in that character reveal that I was actually kind of into the more and more I looked at it and thought about it. So as of the time that I'm recording this, it's about 13,500 supporters. So it needs to be about 2,500 more, or orders rather, to reach, to unlock Glenda, which honestly, I think the name's hilarious too, Glenda. Anyway, so about 2,500 more people to unlock Glenda, and then we get to see what the next reveal is. So in my last video, I was wrong, and I'm going to go ahead and say all the way wrong, because my prediction was that we would get Airborne and a Steel Corps character or troop builder, and they would be really trying to inspire us to buy multiples for the sake of troop building, like Airborne and another Steel Corps. Well, that's wrong because they came out with Glenda. Now they still might come out with Airborne, but that leads me to like the next little piece here for this video. So in my last video, I said I wasn't going to change my predictions, and I'm still not going to change my predictions. I was wrong at least 50%. I'm going to say it all the way wrong because it was a whole package prediction. But I'm still going to say I'm sticking to my guns with the Airborne thing. Now, that might be wrong too. That's fine. But I do think it makes sense that it could be Airborne. I think it would make sense if it was Airborne in a Night Force uniform, something like that. That said, I'm really just sticking to it because I said it in the last video. I'm not married to the idea. I think if it's not Airborne, that they'll put him out later as a regular release. So I'm not really that worried about it. what my real answer is I don't know what it's going to be. After Glenda, my opinion, it could be literally, who knows. That said, there's a good argument made online. A lot of people have been in comments and in videos, and I'm sure if you're coming across this video, you've already came across several people, and you may be one of them, who believes this is the most likely option, General Hawk. So I do think that it makes a lot of sense. I do think that it makes a lot of sense to mirror his tank with another commander. The only sticking point I have with the General Hawk theory is that it is General Hawk is the one requesting the new recruits. So it almost doesn't make much sense to me narratively, if he's the one requesting the new recruits, that he is also one of the new recruits. So I could imagine they could, you know, shape the rest of this narrative in a way that does make sense. You know, oh, the last person we need is a team leader, and I happen to be team commander, so here we go. But the way I see it, the whole campaign, he's been, General Hawk, the character, has been requesting new recruits, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that General Hawk would be the new recruit. That said, I'm open to it. It would be cool, and I'm just going to throw it out there that if it is General Hawk, I would really hope for the version 3 with the jetpack rather than the iconic version 2, because I feel like that should be a mainline release. The version that comes with the HasLab should be a version that if you miss it, you can live without it. It's not the one that, you know, you picture first when you hear the name General Hawk. And it's flight oriented, so I feel like that is thematically in line. So if it does turn out to be General Hawk, like a lot of people are saying, I'm up for it. But I do want to put a marker on my prediction was Airborne, and I'm sticking to it because in the last video I also said I wasn't making any more predictions on this. So I'm just trying to stick to my what I said originally the best I can. But with that said, I was wrong in the last video. My prediction was garbage. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna cut the video, try to get it up later today. Have a good one. See y'all until next time.